All right. Oh my gosh. Oh, the headaches sometimes getting this started. Not that I'm complaining. I'm kind of complaining. That's what I do. Okay. Think we're in good shape. Ladies and gentlemen, the live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Blot to you. Brought to you by key sponsors, Blue Frost IT. I took the BL from Blue and combined it with brought to give you blot. That's like my new thing. 616-200-8550. That is their number. If you need any IT support for your small or medium-sized business, Blue Frost IT is the way to go. You sign up, you get involved in a monthly deal where you're constantly being supervised by them with their expertise. If you get in the weed, just call up your staff. That is Blue Frost IT, and say, "Look, we got a problem," and then they're on it. Thank you to them. That means that your small and medium-sized business now has an IT department. That wasn't always the case back in the day. That was completely unattainable, unaffordable, but now you absolutely can. You get in the weeds, you call on Blue Frost IT. You can also get to them at bluefrostit.com. The Kent County Health Department is reminding you to cough into your elbow, wear a mask, be socially distant. I don't care what anybody tells you. Better to be safe than sorry. The Kent County Health Department working very hard to ensure your safety during all of this pandemic nonsense. They have four COVID testing stations in and around Kent County. And, anybody can take advantage of that. Not to mention they are back to work fully with their staff. If there is an issue with a sexually transmitted infection, they can take care of that. Not to mention vaccinations for the kids. If you qualify, you can get all of that free of charge. Get more information at their website, accesskent.org/health. Okay? Thank you to them. And as you know, this studio is sponsored by the Metalworks Body Shop. You know it. Metalworks Body Shop, Fear Bunker Studio. Metalworks Body Shop, that's what they want to do, is have you reach out to them if you crack up the RV, okay, on one of your adventures that you're going on for the remainder of the summer. That's who you call upon if there is you getting into the weeds, cracking up your travel trailer, fifth wheel, motorhome, whatever it may be. They can fix it, make it look good as new. Thank you, Metalworks Body Shop. On your mark, get set, go! It's the 28th of July, 2020. It's time.
And now, here's a guy who has never won a congeniality award at any radio station anywhere.
I will fight you in the streets.
It's the Eric Zane Show podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is a daily podcast, a daily rant infused with obscenities, voice cracks, and my take on the world, news, nonsense, and personal adventures. We do it each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here. There is a live element to it on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want it live, it happens at about this time. It's supposed to start at 8. Doesn't always do that. And then, of course, every word that I'm saying, I am recording. One take, Charlie. No pauses, no stops, no breaks, just running right through, all the screw-ups involved, whatever, and then you just post it for the world to take advantage of. About the only thing I edit is if there is a technical issue and I don't want, like, silence or anything like that, or me having to leave the room to take a leak, then I might pause it, but not for the live crew. So this is quite literally tightrope walking without a net. All right, I don't think there is... I think there's very few people that actually do it like this. I think Rogan is live. Isn't Joe? Yeah, Joe Rogan has a live element to his podcast. Is there not? But not everybody does it this way. But I am most comfortable when I am in front of when I know that what we're doing is live. And there's several ways that you can take advantage of that. Like I said, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I'm really trying to boost the participation on YouTube. So if you are watching on Facebook, I'm not saying quit, but if you have the option of being able to open up Twitter and watch, open up YouTube and watch with that, maybe kick the sound down. That really helps move the meter for the Eric St. Show podcast. As always, subscribe on YouTube. Hit the notification button, tells you when I'm going live. And if you could, give me a thumbs up on the video. I would appreciate that. Facebook is great. Love it. But YouTube actually gives you dollars for people who are watching. So that's cool. It helps move the meter. Keep the dogs fed, keep the lights on, and there you go. We got a couple of visitors in here in the studio with me today. They are, of course, O'Neill and Bruce. Pretty much my partners during the summer months or the winter months and during the school year, because Diana is off at work. We're in the summer right now. Why? How come Diana's not watching the dogs? And that's a good question. In fact, I think we should, as part of the open, bring in the Queen of the Forest in just a second here. We'll do that. What is going on? What is happening? Well, I'll explain in just a second. First off, what you need to know that today we're going to be, we are chock full of things to talk about. It seems like we have no shortage of amazing, interesting stories to discuss. And all you basically have to do is look at what's happening in the world, and you've got something to talk about. And you know that I'm going to have a take on it. Whether or not it'll be entertaining remains to be seen. But we'll start with former NFL coach Mike Ditka. He's supposedly in charge of a ladies' football league. Now, I don't really believe that. I think they just throw his name and attach it on it to supposedly give it some type of credibility. That's happened before with former players latching on to some of these organizations. So he is supposedly in charge of a ladies' football league. We're going to discuss that. We'll hear his old man thoughts on the league, women playing the game, and kneeling for the anthem. You can only imagine. I can only imagine what Mike Ditka has to say about kneeling for the anthem. Related, a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers football team is a black guy. He has an interesting take on the anthem, and I have a ton of respect for this guy. One of the rioters in this community, busted on camera during that fateful night, they were happening all across the country at the time, is not doing her best to turn over a new leaf. I've had it with her, and I gave her a break through a friend last time, and I'm not doing it anymore. Allie Lyons can screw off. This crazy bitch needs to wind up behind bars for the rest of her life, in my opinion. All right. Baseball may be screwed, and the Miami Marlins players would be to blame. More coming out about the massive outbreak that happened with the baseball team. This story just kind of surfaced, and I was like, well, this is a bombshell. This is absolutely an enormous story. And they're like, yeah, they got to cancel a couple games. There's a lot more to it than that, and I was shocked at the laissez-faire attitude by people in the press about this story. This is absolutely huge. I watched baseball yesterday. My thoughts on it coming up. Specifically, the fake crowd noise piped in. Some of you may have seen what how I felt about it on Twitter yesterday. We're going to hear from a guy who is running for a local position. He wants to be the township clerk. And I'm not, you know what? I'm not even sure what the hell the township clerk does. Is he the guy who, when you pay your water bill, he goes, paid, and hits the stamp and goes, thanks, here you go. Or is there more to it than that? So this is twofold. We're going to find out what he is so upset about. Actually, I can tell you right now what he's so upset about. Some asshole is stealing his campaign signs that he pays money for. His name is Ryan Kidd. Ryan Kidd is is running for the clerk position in my community. And he's got he is offering a reward to whoever can provide information about who is stealing his damn campaign signs. I want to get him on. Plus, I got a couple things I want to talk to him about in our community, especially. Remember, I talked about the lady who has the pool, the indoor pool that we talked about, and the city said, "No, you can't do that." He might be a good guy to bounce a thought off of and see what he thinks about that. And if you think it's rough here in the good old US of A, wait until you hear about the latest human rights nightmare scenario in the country of Egypt. Seriously, oh my God, it is absolutely repulsive what they do to people, in this case, specifically women in the country of Egypt. All right. I am a little bit gun shy about the podcast. All right, yeah. It looks like we're doing okay so far. I was concerned about the microphone issue because, man, were we in a huge catastrophe yesterday. I was so confused. There was good sound on Facebook, not so good sound on YouTube. So I was very, very worried about that. But it seems to be like things are in order. That is nice. Let's bring in the queen of the forest. Always fun. She's the real brains behind this whole operation. Definitely the eye candy. Hey, how are you? Can you do me a favor?
What?
Can you turn down that fan? It's super loud.
Hang on.
Yeah. It's on the dashboard. If you turn it on low or off, it won't make it.
I got it.
Okay. So, are you driving, or are you still at the animal vet? The vets.
I am driving.
I don't know why I said
there's a bad accident.
There's a bad accident, really.
Well, I'm on. It's all cleaned up now, but the one car was on its roof.
Really? You had a rollover accident on like 131?
No, on a street leading up to the veterinary place. It's like a side street.
Oh, you're just getting there now.
No, I'm just leaving there now.
Oh.
But on the way there, it was.
Okay, yeah, and you had to go all the way to Kalamazoo, Michigan for this.
Yes.
Okay. So now Daisy is kind of like having a major surgery today. How did she seem to do when you dropped her off? Was she like, "Oh yeah, this is great. I like this place"?
No, she turned around and looked at me like, "Please don't leave me here."
No, isn't that the worst?
It made me feel bad.
I know. Oh my God. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah.
So she's good to go. They said we may be able to pick her up this evening or tomorrow, depending, whatever, depending on how late the surgery is and all that stuff. So.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry.
What the hell is that?
What? Why? What did it do? Oh, it made a crazy noise. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It does that. I can't hear it on my end. It sounded fine on my end. All right. So what's on the schedule for today? Outside of that, is there anything that I need to do? Do you have any plans for me? What's happening?
No, I don't have any plans for you today.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, just go with me to pick up Daisy if we can get her today.
Yeah. All right. How about ship shopping? We doing any ship shopping today, or are we just gonna sit by the pool? And drink wine?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay. All right. Well,
I was gonna do ship shopping until you had to be a smartass and say that. So.
I'm kidding. Come on. There's nothing wrong.
Whatever.
There's
okay.
nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that. If you
I gotta go because I don't know where I'm going, and I'm gonna run into a construction.
Okay. When you turn off the phone, follow the blue line.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
See you. Bye. I don't know what my problem is today. You can't pick a fight with the queen of the forest. Holy crap. What are you doing, dummy? Okay. Yeah. So, first of all, yesterday, Diana had an MRI. Those suck. Oh, my God. This is for like her wounded boobie. And they had to get a good look at it. So there we were at the hospital. I always keep her company, you know. And so that this all is good. We are in a good spot right now. So that there's that update. I don't have much more to tell you other than that the MRI went well. I've got a update on the dog, Daisy. Okay, I've talked about this before. It's really remarkable how this whole thing happened. You had one veterinarian, I forget the guy's name, years ago, and he's the guy that the procedure is named after. He's dead now, but the dude came up with this amazing idea for this procedure to, if a dog ruptures the ACL, and Daisy did do that. She had one leg repaired a year and a half ago. The vet said it's going to happen to the other one. Sure enough, it does. So now they have to do the other one. If you don't do that, the dog arthritis sets in. The dog dies a slow, painful death. It's terrible. So today's the day you get that taken care of. So what they do is they cut the head of the dog's, not cut the head of the dog off. They cut the head of the bone that's affected on the back leg off, and then they rotate it, I guess, or change the angle. Then they bolt it all back together. And this change in the anatomy makes it so that the ACL on the dog is obsolete. It is not needed. And the crazy thing is this vet, however many years ago that he did this, came up with the concept, and he was laughed off of a stage. True story. He was at one of those conferences, and they're like, yeah, fuck you. Cut the dogs. Cut the bone. Yeah, you stupid ass. It was panned. Everybody made fun of him. They're throwing fruit at him. They're like, yeah, what a bunch of bullshit. Let's go and head over to the hotel bar and make fun of this cock. Well, yeah, you know, so they ripped this guy a new one. And then but he kept he was already doing the procedure in his offices, and it was working. And so he kept saying, yeah, hey, this one worked. This one worked. Look at this. And so all of a sudden, everybody's like scratching their head. They're like, hey, man, I think this guy's onto something. And so now it is the accepted way of repairing this issue. It ain't cheap. You're going to have to sign up for Care Credit. You know what Care Credit is? You go into any vet, there's like a brochure for it. And you basically sign up for it. It's like it's not healthcare for your pet, but they give you like plenty of time to pay it off with like no interest. So you got like a year to pay it. So that makes it a hell of a lot more manageable. So that's what we're doing. We did that once before with Daisy, paid it off, done. Now this is it. You know, if you added up all of the money with these dogs, this is what my dad yells at me about. He's, why do you have so many dogs, guy? What is wrong with you? And I'm like, Dad, don't worry about it. It's my life. I love the dog. Meanwhile, he loves the dog too. I go, don't worry about me. I'm glad I'm not the type of idiot who saves up all of the and then adds it all up, you know, and breaks it down by month as to how much that works out to. Holy cow. But yeah, today's a big day. Daisy will come back to us, and she will be limping all over. She won't be able to walk. She'll have the cone of shame on. And but this is a good thing. This is a really, really good thing. Before I bring in my guest, Ryan Kidd, I have to also tell you that I'm getting quite far in the kidney scenario. As you know, I'm trying to donate a kidney to a gentleman that I went to high school with. And I don't want to go through the whole story of how that came to be. Eventually, I'm sure I'll tell it again. But that is the thing. In a perfect world, in a handful of months, I will be under the knife. They'll be removing one of my kidneys and giving it to this guy. He's on dialysis every single day. It's a real drag, and his kidneys are stage 5 kidney disease. That's as far staged out as you can be. So in 2 weeks, I will be in Los Angeles doing this podcast. I'm taking my gear with me and going through a litany of tests in California at the UCLA Kidney and Pancreas Transplant Facility. Chest exam, psychological exam, blood work, cardiac stress test, everything. And so this is going to be quite an adventure, and I can't wait to share it with you. I should get it sponsored by somebody. Wouldn't that be fun? I'm not sure which one I would exactly do, but yes. So there you go. Off and running on that. Now, I did that test where I had that big jug of pee. That came back 100% normal. They checked my blood. They determined absolutely I'm a great match. We are the same blood type. I have 6 of the 12 antigens. So I am an excellent candidate so far for the potential recipient. So this is all great. And this was, as you know, they took 20 vials of blood from me last week. And I've heard nothing but good things as to how it's looking so far. This litany of tests is going on. So far, so good. Keep your fingers crossed. And I talked to the gentleman that would be the recipient. Believe it or not, he's a filmmaker. And he's already thinking. He goes, our story told documentary style would be amazing. I go, it sure would. I would love that. I would love to be part of that. He's made documentaries before. He's made film shorts. This is his passion. But where he makes his money is in making advertising for gigantic companies, video advertising. And he's been doing it for a long, long time. So I would love to be able to tell that story. Okay, before I bring in Ryan Kidd, who is pissed off at the world because he's pissed off at somebody for stealing his campaign signs, I'm going to tell you that the opening of this podcast, though it started late, is brought to you by key sponsors, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, NMLS number 3035. Thank you to them. Let's see. Hold on, I just got distracted. Sorry. Anyway, if you have a need for a mortgage, whether it be first-time mortgage, 10th-time mortgage, maybe a refi, maybe you're just looking for information, I want you to reach out to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. They've been giving people money since 1987. They're not a broker. They actually got the cash, and you're going to get it from Van Dyke Mortgage. Get that mortgage before you even start looking for a home. And yeah, absolutely. I don't expect you to just call on Mario and say, yeah, you're the guy. But do call him and talk to him about what you would want. And then you decide if you think he's right for you. You can get more information when you click on his logo at ericzaneshow.com for the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. I've got a hardware store that I want you to check out up north. When you go up north to get away for the weekend, you leave the work week behind and don't bother bringing up all the stuff that you get from the big box hardware store to work on the things that you're going to work on when you're putzing around up north. Get it at Baldwin Ace Hardware. You're really helping out and infusing some cash into a community. And a lot of people who work there really depend on you being a patron at Baldwin Ace Hardware. Thank you to them. They're also responsible for bringing you Diana on the show. The Queen of the Forest is brought to you by Baldwin Ace Hardware, nestled at the edge of the Manistee National Forest on Main Street in Baldwin, Michigan. And, of course, Bennett Flooring Installation. My gosh. Oh, Jacob and Jason Bennett. Great tandem. This is what you do. Call them at 616-318-0167. And just say, yeah, Zane told me to call you. I got a room that needs flooring. They show up there. They measure it out. Let's say you want to install vinyl plank flooring. That's what we just installed into that bedroom. Then he measures it all out, and he says, this is how much it's going to cost for us to install it. And then they're going to say, do you want us to give you some options for the flooring? And you're going to say, no. I already know what I want. Oh, okay, no problem. So then you go and you buy it. You buy your flooring wherever you buy your flooring. And then you say, hey, I got the flooring. When are you going to install it? And they go, all right, we got an opening in a week and a half. We'll be there 7 a.m. sharp to install your flooring. That's it. Pay them and you're done. The estimate is free. The measurement is free. That's all part of the estimate. Get them into the home. Have them do the measurement. It is so amazing and so easy and so, professional, man. You've seen the video and the photographs of what our room looks like now. Thank you to Bennett Flooring Installation for making that happen. All right, I'm going to get this guy on the phone. He's running for county clerk in my community. Why in the world, Zane, would you want to get on the guy running for county clerk? Well, there's something to it.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Ryan, what's up?
Hey, good morning, Eric. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you're here. Now, before we get started, you told me that you and I have had some interactions in the past, correct?
We have, yeah. I used to follow you guys all the time with Free Brand Hot Wings, and when you left there, it kind of wasn't the same for me. So I had to. I think I've only listened to them maybe a handful of times since then, honestly. I run into you all the time at Jenison Meyer.
Okay, at the Meyer is where we ran into each other. By the way, you should definitely listen to them. It's still a very, very fun show.
Yeah, it is. It is. My career line has kind of changed a little bit too, as far as I'm not in my car as much in the morning.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Now, Ryan, I've run into you at the Meyer. Is it like, hey, Zane, how are you? One of those deals, or is it just you didn't say anything?
Exactly. Now it's hard to tell because I think I ran into you a couple weeks ago, and I knew it was you, but unfortunately now with a mask, there's no way of identifying me on the other side. So
excellent, man. Well, that is very cool. Thank you for saying hi. I love that. I love it when people say hi. It's like pumps wind in the sails. Okay. Now, Ryan, I understand. I've seen your signs everywhere, along with several other people who are running for the county clerk position in Georgetown Township, correct?
There's one other individual that's running for the county clerk. Oh. It's me and one other individual. But then there's a lot of other ones that are going too. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so the other elections, because I saw a bunch of signs for Georgetown Township, but the clerk position is just you and one other?
Correct. Yep. So the clerk position has one other person. There's a challenger and the incumbent, and then the treasurer also has one that is a trustee currently challenging the current treasurer, and then there's a whole slate of 4 new trustees going after the 3 other spots. So yeah.
Now, in our community, is it nonpartisan or is this a partisan election?
So the primaries work. They're partisan on the primaries. So what in essence is happening is the Republicans are selecting their individuals to run in November. The Democrats are selecting their individuals to run in November. So you can cross over on this one, but the only thing is you would have to stay straight ticket. You would either have to vote all Republican or all Democrat on this one. Yep.
So there's 2 Republicans slugging it out to try to be the nominee. Yes?
Pretty much. Yeah. In Georgetown Township, because it's a heavily conservative area, if you win the Republican primary, you are pretty much in because there's not a lot of candidates on the Democrat side that are challenging.
Okay, now let me ask you this before we get to the real meat of this story. A lot of times when people see that there's an election for something like clerk or drain commissioner, things like that, we don't really, no one really knows what these jobs entail. So as a service to the community, what exactly does the county clerk do?
So the county clerk is a part-time position currently here in Georgetown. Primarily the day-to-day individual things are done by the deputy clerk, and there's a zoning and elections coordinator. So the clerk is pretty much over the elections. They do elections, permits, ordinances. They do kind of the meat and potatoes of what happens in the township as a whole.
Okay, this is
so
good
that's
news.
Kind of a short answer right there.
Okay, good, because that brings me to my next thing. That's not related to the big reason why we got you on. Did you see that story about that lady in Georgetown Township last week who had the pool installed?
Yes, I have. I did see that.
What do you think about that?
Oh man, so you're gonna put me on the spot for that one.
You're damn right I am, because that's what's burning on my. Yeah.
So prior to, I heard a lot of it on Facebook in the first place. I reached out to her individually because I want to hear the whole story. I mean, the same thing happened to the distillery. I wanted to make sure I hear directly from them, and then I want to hear from the board side. So before I can make a decision, I need to have all the information. So with this particular case, I think how it kind of shook out was she followed and got a lot of the permits, and it was fairly open ended as far as like, this is what my plans are for for my add-on with the board. It sounds like, and obviously I don't know the whole commercial versus the residential portion yet until I get really into the bylaws portion of it. But it sounds like it was originally made, they were okay with it, but then once she had more than one employee, because in Georgetown Township, the ordinance is set up where you can have a sole proprietor. You can be a single individual working out of a residential location, but the second you start getting employees, and so you start having more and more individuals there, then it classifies as more of a commercial. So when it goes to commercial, then it's a zoning issue.
Okay.
And it sounds like a lot of the issues with this one was more so with the neighbors. It sounds like there was a parking issue. But when it comes down to things like this, honestly, I would love to. I mean, one of my biggest platforms is I want to look at each ordinance. I want to look at each one of the regulations, and I want to see, are they still relevant? Are they something that we can still use, or is there some type of modifications that we need to do to make it more of a 2020 approach?
Okay.
So yeah, with this particular one, unfortunately, I am not going to give you the answer of either or.
That's all right.
Because I don't have all the information.
No.
I don't have all the information.
That's what you do.
Yeah,
You're supposed to creatively dodge those. So good job. I think that.
I know, right? I'm not a politician either. This is a new thing for me.
Is this something you want to do? You want to like go from county clerk to like a supervisor or something like that, and then work your way up the ladder? Or is this just something you want to do in addition to your daily life?
I don't know. I knew 20 years ago I was going to eventually run for some type of office. I just loved the system. I loved how it's set up. My parents, my father used to be very involved in politics back when he was my age, and he used to bring me to the election night celebrations. And yes, they were late nights, but it ended up going back to that. But I just fell in love with the process.
Wow.
Fell in love with how it works. And I knew eventually I was going to run. I didn't know what it was going to be for. And then when this particular incident, or I saw the things were up for a re-election, I just felt like my voice as a resident and as a taxpayer wasn't being heard. And I have 3 kids that are in the school systems here in Jenison, and I want to leave Georgetown better for them than it is now even. And I'm not saying it's bad at all right now. But I guess my approach to this was I saw an opportunity to go on the board, and I didn't want to be, no offense to trustees, but I didn't want to be just a trustee. I wanted to do something more. How can I really, really help and be more and more involved? So that's why clerk, for some reason, kept circling back. And I'm like, for some reason, I really, really like that position because it's more of a analytical, you look at the facts and and you can just make the decisions on that. And you can really, really impact everyone's life. So, yeah. So long and short, I felt called to do this position. So
okay, fair enough. I noticed you wore a bow tie on your publicity picture on the Facebook page. All the things that you just said to me scream nerd. So does the bow tie. Are you happy with that?
I think bow ties need to come back. Honestly, I really like the dapper look. It's been I wore ties pretty much all my professional career. And then once it starts phasing into, now you just wear a suit with no tie.
Okay.
But for special occasions, throw a bow tie on it. You can get that with a nice pocket square, and it just looks really good. I like it.
No, I cannot endorse that.
All right.
I appreciate your honesty and your willingness to commit to it. That is an attribute for any person. I will say that. But I've always had an opinion that bow tie only works for mathematicians and ghosts.
Okay. All right. Yep. I can see the ghost part and mathematicians. Yep. I like it.
Okay. Now, Ryan.
I am very analytical. I'm a numbers guy. So maybe that's the thing.
Maybe that's it. So. But that's just me. All right. Now, that's all tongue in cheek. But the real thing is you noticed that someone was stealing your signs, Ryan. Isn't that right?
Yes. There's been that we know of 4 different incidences. It started July 9th, kind of the 24th Bauer to Fillmore area. We had a bunch of signs that were actually stolen, and there were some that were actually vandalized along the process. There's primarily 3 different precincts that they focused on those.
Right.
And then it's happened July 18, July 24, and now July 26. One of my big signs that are a little over $100 each, where it was vandalized right on the bottom of the hill at Baldwin.
Well, that's all BS, and I hate that. That's not fair. It's your money. You've worked hard for it. You have a goal in mind to do this job. And well, I don't want to be, even though this is a podcast, I don't want to say who it is, but I mean, what's going on here? You don't strike me as the type of guy who has like a lot of enemies, Ryan.
I don't, and that's the thing. Like, that's kind of one of my campaign things where it's like you can look at probably any candidate and know that they probably have 1 or 2 people that don't like them or whatever. And I've even kind of said, unless you were even on the opposing side of a dugout, because I love to coach, I think even those individuals respect me and know that I'm a person of integrity. So I don't know of any personal enemies, but that leads me to believe then that, hey, maybe I'm doing something right. Maybe I'm rattling the cages of local politics and they don't like the threat of someone that will give a voice to the people. So, yeah.
Well, and let me just say that I don't ever endorse anybody, but since I'm going to make an exception here just so that it can we can stick a finger into the eye to the a-hole who did that and be like, this is terrible. And look what it got you. You stole his signs, you damaged his signs, whoever that person is. And I am saying that anybody within the sound of my voice, you'd be mistaken if you did not vote for Ryan Kidd for the clerk position in Georgetown Township, Michigan. I am committing to that right now, Ryan.
All right. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot.
So if you decide who you want to vote for, if you have been thinking about it, I only want you to consider Ryan Kidd. And I'm being very careful with my words to not say anything that is too indicting or get me into any amount of hot water. But you actually are even offering a reward for anybody who has destroyed your signs, right?
We are. Yeah, we're offering a $100 reward just for information. And we've actually had a couple really, really solid, good tips that have come in so far, and we'll see. We'll see where it leads. I know some people are referencing saying that it's a victimless crime, but hey, it takes time and money for us to put those out there. So yeah,
it's all bullshit. Come on, it's just ridiculous. Everybody gets the same opportunity to try to get their name out there. And this is completely backfired because somebody destroyed your signs. Here you are front and center on this podcast. Reaching the now I'm not the biggest show in the world, but there's definitely a lot of people listening in and around the community who are now going to know your name because people tried to hurt you in that regard, and I'm glad to be part of that.
Awesome, I appreciate it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I tell you what, man, I appreciate the time. I wish you nothing but the best over there, and hopefully, when is the primary again?
The primary is August 4th, which would be next week, Tuesday. Okay. So we're exactly a week out. We have a meet and greet tonight at Frosty Treat if you ever want to come out and actually meet some of the candidates that are challenging the incumbents. And we have a food truck there. We have the chili cheese dog. I met this guy, and he's got a great little food truck, and we're supporting local businesses when we do it too.
Now, I saw that you'll be at the Frosty Treat on the corner of Baldwin and is it 28th? Is that right?
It'd be 20th.
20th.
Yep.
Baldwin 20th, and in my neck of the woods. But you said other candidates will be there too.
Yes. So we have kind of a slate of candidates that are kind of challenging these incumbents currently.
Oh.
And so we have a whole group of us that are like-minded individuals that are transparent, honest, and ready to serve. So it would be a great opportunity to, if you recognize some of those other names on there, great opportunity to meet them and actually see what they're all about too.
Are you suggesting that the incumbents are not transparent or honest?
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying there's a certain level of we'll say
Okay.
they can use it. I'll just leave it right there.
Oh no, yeah, you don't like that I painted you in a corner. I know. All right, listen.
No, not at all. I'm
good. give me some. What is off the top of your head the one when I say Free Beer and Hot Wings show, because you were a big time listener back in the day, and it doesn't have to include me. What is the moment that stands out to you that's like, oh my God, the first thing I think about when someone says Free Beer and Hot Wings show? Ryan, what would that be?
Oh, it's all the Producer Joe pranks.
Yes.
I mean, I absolutely love when he did Lindsay Lohan, when he went to Run with the Bulls, when he did the Yo Gabba Gabba, when he did that going into the which is funny. I even pulled that up and I still remember that. The Producer Joe pranks were definitely the ones that stuck pretty strong with me.
Boy, were they fantastic. It got a little, I think we kind of evolved over time, and he was the best thing about Joe is the trepidation and the reluctance to do it, and he had that goofiness that, I mean, it's not that he doesn't have it anymore, but he doesn't do the stunts anymore because whatever, he got a little older. He got
a little older, got a little wiser, didn't want to have welts from a paintball gun.
Oh my God. And I remember when that idea came up, and I think Greg came up with the idea to have Joe do these stunts. And I remember where we were when we had the meeting about, hey, we got an idea. You're going to spin this wheel and then you can win a few dollars here and there. And that was it. We were in one of the production rooms, and that, I think, was one of the biggest influences to the success of the show, was those fun highlight moments, So I definitely can see that.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, Ryan. Well, I tell you what, good luck. Hope you find out who stole the signs, but if you don't, what the hell? And I'm just glad it's gonna hopefully work out for you. I really appreciate the time that you're spending today. Vote for Ryan Kidd. He's a guy who got his sign stolen.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Ryan. Thanks. There you go. I should come up with a sponsor for the it's not a phone, it's the Skype, the Eric Zane Show podcast Skype hotline. If you want to sponsor it, reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Even you current sponsors, we can make an amendment and add to your whatever it is you're spending money on. Look at me, I'm always trying to make money. What a filthy whore I am. All right. Thank you to Ryan. Okay, now I want to get into this. This is also a local story, but it kind of here's the background to this habitual offender, Allie Lyons. Allie Lyons, recently I tweeted about Allie Lyons when she got in trouble for the riot. And it was something like, look how they sure have grown up. And she's a 22-year-old resident of the area, adult, of course, who has been doing very adult-like things criminally for quite some time. We got to go back a number of years when Allie was featured in a couple of viral pictures with her giving some skull to another high school kid. It's child pornography is what it is. Somebody took a picture of her doing something. Well, she was, like I said, giving the kid skull before the big football game, and there's all these other high schoolers standing around her going, go, go, go. And I thought to myself, fuck, that is so twisted and wrong. And then she doubles down, and after the deed was done, she had one half of the baby-making material in her mouth, and she took a selfie of it and it got posted to the world. I think she posted it, actually. And so, you have this mortified family. The destructive nature of this is too much, okay? Horrible. Frankly, if that's me, I can't even imagine what the hell I mean, that is a family ruiner right there. That whole sequence of events that took place. What happened to you that caused you to do that? To have that little amount of sense. If that was the only thing you ever did, holy shit, that would be enough for a lifetime. But she wasn't done there. She's done a lot of amateur pornography that's shown up in places from what I've read, and on and on and on. There's a lot of substance abuse history that has been detailed and chronicled, and oh boy, just a lot of hot water. And I think that the actual legal rap sheet has been increasing for quite some time. So when it came down to acting like an asshole during the riot in May for the George Floyd thing, it wasn't really a surprise that one of the morons caught on camera was Allie Lyons, who, she took the found fame from that selfie with the what was in her mouth. It was horrible. And she has she has a very popular Instagram page. I guess not that popular by some of the big wigs on Instagram, but she has enough attention that she, I don't know if she makes a living or maybe she doesn't. She's been posting a lot of material on Instagram over the years. So, but it's not like she's like upwardly mobile. And so when I saw that there was a mugshot, and I didn't recognize the face at first, but I kind of was like, well, boy, why is that name resonating with me? And then I went, wait a minute, is she the one who did that thing at the football game when she was giving the kid skull? And sure enough, it's her. By the way, in this mugshot, she's 22. She looks like she's about 35, pretty damn rough. And so she's lived pretty hard from what I'm understanding. All right. She gets busted, vandalizing shit, breaking windows. She gets arrested. At some point, we're going to get to a rock bottom with her, right? Where, either, and that isn't guaranteed to happen. One of two things is going to happen. You're going to continue to be an asshole and probably wind up either in jail or dead, or you're going to realize that enough is enough and it's time to turn your life around. Excuse me, hold that thought. I just realized I don't have the fan on, and I don't want my neighbor who's outside in his backyard, who is extremely Christian, to hear me swearing and talking about semen in people's mouths. Hang on. Embarrassing. So many things you have to remember to do a podcast. All right. So this hag is seen busting the windows of the, I think it was like the prosecutor's office. The windows of the building that houses the Kent County prosecutor. She was encouraging rioters to smash windows, downtown GR. So she gets arrested. She's got a criminal history, so they kind of threw the book at her. And so she's sitting there in jail wondering what's up. And then there's a group known as the Michigan Solidarity Bail Fund. That is a leaning organization that gets people out of jail with bail. They put up $200,000 to post bond for Lyons and 10 others facing charges linked to the riot. The MSBF, the Michigan Solidarity Bail Fund, describes itself as, quote, anti-prison, anti-racist, and anti-capitalist. Translation, shitheads. That group opposes the pre-trial cash bail system and says its cash comes from donations. What a shitty, worthless, garbage organization that is. People get in trouble, and this bunch of crazy-ass, bleeding heart pieces of shit get them out of jail in that endeavor. Well, now they look like assholes because this crazy bitch just fucked up again. She's violated the terms of the bond. So these losers get a loser out of jail, and then she continues to act like a loser. A judge has issued an arrest warrant for this hag after she failed to show up to a hearing. The hearing was called because they had been watching this stupid bitch's social media, and they looked at some of the pictures, and she's so stupid. You'd think that if you just did something like this and you've had a whole life where you've been nothing but stupid and done stupid law-breaking things your whole life, you would avoid social media altogether. But not only did she not avoid it, she posted pictures of her holding a gun. And apparently that is a violation of her bond conditions. Say, all right, we're going to let you go, but you can't do this, this, and this. And she went and did the opposite. So the hearing was, all right, you got to come back now because we got to talk to you. We're going to revoke your bond. Well, she skipped that. So now there's a warrant out for this crazy bitch's arrest. Accused of live streaming the late May riot. And so now she is in deep caca again. Let's see. The Lansing-based Michigan Solidarity Bail Fund, again, they put up $200,000 to post bond for Lyons and 10 others facing charges linked to the riot. If Lyons is arrested within a year, which she will be, the MSBF could file a motion to get back the $40,000 it paid to bail her out. Boy, you know you got to be a real loser when this group is like, we don't want anything to do with you, amateur porn star. Man, what a nightmare. What an absolute nightmare. And you know what? I had a close friend reach out to me during the last incident because I posted a Facebook post about this hag. And you know what? Sorry, no more favors. I'm done because this crazy bitch doesn't know how to behave. I'm not going to sit there and kiss her ass. She means nothing to me, and I don't give a shit. She hopefully maybe with a little shame and somebody will be able to beat some common sense into her. She's going to go up the river for extended time. Absolutely the worst. Habitual offender, career criminal, Allie Lyons. Congratulations, stupid idiot. All right. A&E Heating and Cooling reminds you that if you get in the weeds with anything, your air conditioning goes south on you, make sure you call upon Joe Martinez, 616-516-8579. Thank you to them, aeheatingcooling.net, utilizing the Comfort Maker air conditioners and furnaces. Comfort with confidence with the Comfort Maker. They are the best in the business, and Joe is the best in the business. And look, I can't stress this enough. If you're looking for a new install for AC, maybe central air, whatever, you're sick and tired of sweating your face off in the house, that's bad, man. That's like awful. Go ahead, get a estimate from whoever you want, but just make sure Joe is third, okay? Because you're going to get 1, 2, and they're not going to match. One's going to be better than the other. Take the best one and give it to Joe and say, these guys said it'll cost me this. What can you do, Joe? That way he will beat it. I can guarantee that. You will get the lowest amount. You will spend the least amount, and you're supporting the show. Because when you support the show and you tell Joe that you listen to the Eric Zane Show podcast, he knows that the marketing works. That's how this all is. It's between me, you, and my sponsors. So thank you so much. Reach out to Joe at 616-516-8579. While I'm at it, BK Guns and Stuff. I found out the big thing people are doing now is they want a home defense shotgun. Now, that is a modification. You can take any old regular shotgun, okay, your frickin' Elmer Fudd weaponry, and have it converted to a home defense shotgun. That's a modification, a custom job, and they do that at BK Guns and Stuff. They're in Saranac, Michigan. If you go to ericzaneshow.com, right in the top sponsor scroll, there's 2 sponsor scrolls, one on the top, one on the bottom. The top one, you'll see BK and their logo. Click on it. It'll take you right to their Facebook page. And all their information is right there. Reach out to them, and they will do an amazing job for you. BK Guns and Stuff. Okay. Now, if you're in a small or medium-sized business and you're wondering, like, how to market yourself, sure, you got your Facebook page, you got your LinkedIn, you got your Twitter, but you don't really know what you're doing. You're doing it yourself. If you are doing it yourself, you're doing it wrong, me included. There is one business that I stress that you must reach out to be able to utilize those amazing tools that are at your disposal. And that's StellaFly. StellaFly can take your business and make sure that everybody knows about it with simple things and tricks that they have up their sleeve to make your company more visible. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of these great social media platforms, they have a handle on it, and they can do this for your local business. Doesn't matter where you are, they can take care of you. Go to their website, stellafly.com, for more information. Beautiful marketing ideas to help your business be out in front of people. It's just a matter, again, I've said this many times, when the message meets the need, that is marketing, and they know marketing at StellaFly. Okay. I want to remind you that we have Deer Meathead tomorrow at 9 a.m. We're going to get back to it with Dad. Got a little bit off the rails yesterday. Deer Meathead brought to you by JM Synthetics. Thank you to them. Online at jmsynthetics.com. If you have questions for Dad about anything at all, please send them along to Eric at ericzaneshow.com on the Green Clean Technologies inbox. Thank you. And then at 9:30, I'm bringing back a guest tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, the second appearance. D. Adonis, Bleeding Heart Voice of America, will be joining us. D. Adonis is the guy that I stumbled upon. How did I stumble upon D? D was the guy who, when he was here in Grand Rapids, happened to be walking down the street, getting himself a Popeye's chicken sandwich. And there, all of a sudden, a window on a second-story building downtown, or it wasn't downtown, it was in one of the neighborhoods, it gets flung open, and a 100% nude woman steps out onto the ledge, completely whacked out of her mind. D shot hilarious play-by-play, and I featured it, and then I wanted to get him on the podcast. While I was attempting to get him on the podcast, he said, I can't come on your show because you're a racist and you made fun of Michelle Obama. And so I actually wrote, go fuck yourself, because I didn't like anybody calling me a racist. Now, he was completely off the mark. As you know, there's not a racist bone in my body. And then he gave me the time of day, and he agreed to come on quickly. And I said, dude, what the fuck? How can you possibly call me a racist? So he realized he got me wrong. I told him I was sorry for telling him to go fuck himself. And then we had a great conversation. This guy is so woke. African-American man, going to be a lawyer, millennial. So he's got all the key contributing factors to wokeness. So I like to bring D in as the liberal voice of America. Okay. And there's a lot of things I want to talk to D about. I'll get him on, and I'll play devil's advocate because, I agree with very little what this guy. So actually, I take it back. There's a lot of things that I do agree with D on. But he is a character. I love D. Adonis. He will be joining us at 9:30 tomorrow on the show. 9:30 Eastern Time. All right. Legendary football coach Mike Ditka. Seems like kind of a jackass. This is a classic old man yells at cloud. Okay. And, he won a Super Bowl with the Bears, and I don't think he did a whole hell of a lot after that, right? I mean, I think he coached the Miami Dolphins, and they stunk. He did a fairly good job when he was on TV, but I don't think he has that gig anymore. I'm taking a look at him. He's looking pretty rough. He's looking like he's aged dramatically. He spoke to TMZ Sports. He is the chairman of the X League. I thought he was the owner. I don't think he is. Now, I'm getting the feeling that chairman position of the X League, which is women's football, is largely just a ceremonial thing, and they're using him to make the rounds on publicity like this to be able to draw attention to the league. Now, first of all, about the league, I don't have any problem with women's football at all, but I think it's a little bit weird. First of all, this league used to be known as the Lingerie Football League. And then it became the Legends Football League when they wanted to get away from the sexy, tarted up idea of it. Now, make no mistake, these are very athletic, strong women. Some are big linemen or line women, and some are more skill players, and they look like they're all friggin' CrossFit, way ripped and in shape, muscular, strong. What gets me about this football league is the stupid getup that they have to wear. And they're wearing like the really short, hot pants that don't cover up anything. I mean, we have a huge camel toe alert for every game. They're basically wearing bikini tops with their tits hanging out and shoulder pads and like hockey helmets. Now, I understand the protective gear, but I mean, there's a women's football league. It's semi-pro here in West Michigan, and they dress like in appropriate football gear. This league is stupid because I don't know, maybe I sound a little bit like a bleeding heart, but why do we have to dress the women up like whores in order to watch football? I think that's fucking embarrassing. That's stupid. If you're going to do a football league and sell the merits of the game, that's one thing. I mean, hell, I like watching women's hockey. I like watching MMA. Women's basketball, I'm not really into, but I know it's pretty damn popular these days. I think you got to be kind of a caveman if you think, I'm not going to watch it because it's chicks, or I only want to watch it if I get to see some tits. What the fuck is wrong with you? So Ditka is in this stupid football league that's really kind of embarrassing to me. And not only did he talk about the league here from an old man's perspective, but he also, of course, everybody's going to bring up the stupid-ass question about kneeling for the anthem or standing for the anthem. I wish people would stop talking about kneeling and standing for the anthem. It's going to happen, and you know what type of answer Mike Ditka is going to give. He's an old man. Hell, I barely just got onto the winning team when I said that you should support anybody who kneels for the anthem. I wasn't like that all the time. I was like Ditka. But listen to this stupid asshole.
Play every sport there is in the country.
Hold on.
Women play every sport there is in the country, except football. So why not football? And that's what it is. It's a league where these women have a lot of talent. They're very good athletes, and they like to play football. I mean, it's strange, but it's only strange in the sense that it hasn't.
It's strange.
Happened yet, but it's going to happen. I think when it does happen.
This league's been around for years, okay? They've been playing this game either known as the Lingerie Football League or the Legends Football League. Now it's known as the X League.
I think people really enjoy it. These are talented athletes. I mean,
can we lose the whole X thing? What is this, 1996? The whole X thing went with extreme. Whoa. Mountain Dew Extreme. All right, we get it. The X doesn't stand for anything. It's a stupid marketing thing. By the way, the XFL, remember that? Did that go away? I think it did.
They're just more than hitting each other. I think they're talented athletes, and it'll be fun to watch. Being honest with you, I can't tell you exactly how it's going to go. But I haven't.
Oh, that's a great chairman. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Me as a fan, as a football fan, I would like to see them play. I don't know how it'll be. It might be great. It might not be. But I think it'll be.
This is your chairman shooting a video from his living room for TMZ, and he says, I don't know how it's going to be. Yeah, this is not the right guy for your league, idiots.
Interesting. So who thought that women boxing each other would be great, or wrestling with each other? So I think it's a physical thing, but I think I think football appeals to
Yeah, everybody's been talking about the women's wrestling scene.
so many people, and seeing women play the game and play it not only with, I think with skill, it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, we've seen
This is the worst. Again, I've actually seen some of the gameplay of the Legends Football League. It is good. It actually is good football. Again, I don't think you need the TNA element of it. I mean, come on, man. If us as dudes, if we're such fucking cavemen that the only way we'll watch a women's sport is if they're all tarted up, fuck that shit, man.
like in women in MMA in the UFC, Mike, Dana White used to say, no, it'll never happen. And now the women's division is so popular,
Exactly.
a lot of times more popular than the men.
It's true.
Do you think that could happen here where this
Well,
this is
it'll never get more popular than men, but still, it can be very popular.
Yeah, he just pointed it out that happened there. You're saying it could never be more. The NFL's pretty damn big. I understand. It probably is not going to be as big as the men, but still, this guy's not doing a very good job of, trying to garner support for the Women's X League.
And why not? I mean, if women want to play a man's sport, I call football a man's.
If women want to play a man's sport,
this is
it'll never get more popular than men, but still, it can be very popular. And why not? I mean, if women want to play a man's sport, I call football a man's sport.
Why is this guy the spokesperson for the team? Seriously, why did you bring on this fossil? Why don't you at the same time go get Dick Butkus too?
Go ahead and do it. And if they're going to knock the crap out of each other, more power to them, because that's what people want to see. And I mean, I don't say that to be smart. I say it because that's what they want to see. Oh, these women are pretty, good looking, and they can knock the crap out of each other. Well, we'll see how it works.
The whole kneeling thing in the NFL.
Oh, here we go.
You got guys saying that they're going to do it. I'm seeing all these baseball players now, different teams. Last night watching baseball, you got the Reds kneeling, the A's, the Giants. A lot of teams are kneeling. Athletes are kneeling. In your league here, you're the chairman of this thing. Is that going to be allowed if the women want to take a knee during the anthem? What's the policy on that for you guys?
Well, if it was up to me, I'd say no. If you can't respect our national anthem, get the hell out of the country.
Oh, God.
Then that's the way I feel.
Come on.
Of course, I'm old-fashioned, so I'm only going to say what I feel.
Drop fashion. You're old. That's what you say. I'm old. I am a stupid, closed-minded man who doesn't think. I'm not. At no point am I going to let any other opinion pervade my thoughts. I think the way I think, and it's easier that way because I'm a lazy fucking old asshole.
I think there's a way that you protest, and there's a way you don't protest. You don't protest against the flag, and you don't protest against this country who's given you the opportunity to make a living playing a sport that you never thought would happen. So I don't want to hear all the crap. You want to try it. You don't, it's okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have any say. You heard that. That gives you an idea of how much pull the chairman of the league has. He doesn't have any pull. There's going to be people kneeling for anthems from now till the end of time because shitty things have happened in the world. Make no mistake. And if you want to talk about anything as I agree in protest, just not that protest. Well, that's the best type of protest right now because everybody's talking about it. Everybody's well aware of it. So I don't have a problem with anybody who protests that way. That's actually turned out to be quite an effective protest. If the idea behind a protest is to draw some momentum and get some awareness to what you're protesting about, and it works, keep doing it. Unless it's harming someone in any shape or form, you better keep doing that. You'd be a fool not to. And I understand that if you're new to this podcast and you've heard me on the radio, you've heard me say the exact opposite before. I've completely changed my opinion on that in recent months. I understand exactly why people kneel for the anthem. And anybody, no matter what you do for the anthem, I support that. I would not kneel. I would stand. But this is not my fight. It's the fight of people who have made it have taken the calling and the to express themselves that way. Not everybody does that. I respect anybody who stands, and I respect anybody who kneels. Make that known. Like this guy, Stephan. I think it's Stephan. It's spelled Stephan. Stephan Tuitt. Stephan Tuitt is a black dude who plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's just as much as I respect anybody who kneels for the anthem because of what they're doing it for, I respect anyone who stands for the anthem because of in order to express what they believe it has to do with, what they're standing for. Just like what you're kneeling for, I respect. What you're standing for, I respect. I know that sounds wishy-washy as hell, but there is no right or wrong here on this. I get it. I don't think that people kneeling for the anthem are doing it because they hate America. They're doing it to draw attention to what we've talked about many times. That's been repeated ad nauseum. If you don't yet understand it or think it's just out of the that it's not okay, well, that's totally up to you. I'm not going to sit there and indict you in any way, shape, or form. I used to feel that way. I don't feel that way now. Tuitt, though, says there is no way in hell. Again, Stephan Tuitt, black guy, said there is no way I'm going to kneel for the anthem. He does not support this. This is like the lady the other day, the black lady who got the gallon of paint and dumped it on the Black Lives Matter mural in the street. This is one of those weirdo things that makes you go, oh, no. What are we going to do now? He's a big, bad defensive end. Monday, he said, nope, I'm not going to kneel during the NFL season. Quote, I'm not going to kneel for the flag and screw anybody who has his exact words. Also, I'm not kneeling for the flag and screw anybody who have a problem with that. Tuitt wrote on Twitter, my grandmother was an immigrant from the Caribbean and worked her ass off to bring 20 people over the right way. She had no money and educated herself to be a nurse. She living good now. He wrote. Okay. In 6 games last year. Okay, now, if you're like on the team and you are going to take a knee, do you bring that up? Do you have that conversation with that guy, or is him firmly putting his foot down? Does that make it so you don't bring it up? And if you're a football player on the Steelers, do you have a problem with that? Do you get pissed off at that guy? Because this is a guy who, you wouldn't expect somebody to take such a harsh stance on it, a very certain stance, but some people do. In 6 games last year, Tuitt finished with 22 tackles, 3.5 sacks, missed the final 10 games of the year because he got hurt. So, boy, man, after 6 games, he had 22 tackles and 3.5 sacks. He's a beast. Earlier in the offseason, Tuitt's teammate Cameron Hayward said the team would protest in unity, however they choose to do so. Well, he's not part of that. So that kind of flies in the face of what the team's going to do. But, all right, I guess you're going to have to live with it. I think we want to stay united in what we do and what we want to accomplish, Hayward said during a conference call with reporters last month. Damn it. I took the CH from the next word, coach, and added it onto month. Coach Tomlin always told me that if we win a Super Bowl, that's not enough for the city of Pittsburgh. We want to leave a lasting change on our community as well. And then this guy's turning around saying, I'm not doing that shit. If some of Tuitt's teammates have different feelings about kneeling, it'll be interesting to see how the Steelers approach the national anthem during this upcoming season. God, this is such a fucking shitstorm. The WNBA players, they just walk off the court. Oh, my God. I get, at the end of the day, you just let it happen and just eventually this will work itself out. I respect both sides on this. I really do. But I don't think anybody should be indicted for kneeling. I don't think anybody should be indicted for not kneeling. I know it sounds wishy-washy, but I really believe that. All right. Baseball is screwed and fake crowd noise sucks. We have that. And if you think as a woman things are rough here in the United States, if you've ever thought that, if you've ever thought we need change, holy shit, man, this is a stark reminder that you don't have it nearly as bad as a woman in the country of Egypt or some of these other idiot countries. You're not going to believe this. That coming up. Thank you to Kim Lazara for being on board with the podcast. She distributes, sells Singular products. If you're like me and you're like, damn it, man, I got to jumpstart my metabolism. What am I going to do? You might want to consider reaching out to Kim. Okay. She sells Singular products, which are notorious for jumpstarting the fat burning, boosting the energy, and giving you that extra push to get you through the day. If you want to get a look at the product line of Singular and how you can tap into this amazing resource, click on Kim's logo. It's a big turquoise X with a white background at ericzaneshow.com. Click on it. It'll take you right to her Facebook page, and then ask the question. Say, hey, Zane sent me. What is going on with this? What can you tell me about it? And, man, she'll point you in the right direction. She has changed the lives of many people by getting the Singular products into their hands. All right. So if you're thinking about joining or signing up for an exercise program and you're eating right and you're like, boy, but I need the extra boost. I need something that's really going to help my metabolism. Think about signing up and buying some of these Singular products through Kim Lazara. Okay. All right. So if your business has a parking lot, you've got places for people to park. And if those lines look like shit, that's a bad first impression. Shoreliner Striping does that. They paint parking lots. Crisp, clean, sharp lines make a great impression in your parking lot. Especially if you get that thing redone, resealed. You got to have the lines painted down. Shoreliners does that. They're the only ones in the area that do it. That's who you call. Shorelinerstriping.com. Or just click on their logo at ericzaneshow.com and the lower sponsor scroll. They'll do your parking lot. They'll do inside of the workplace. A lot of these factories and stuff, they have to have lines in them. They do that inside of the business. And they paint athletic fields. When and if we get back to the athletics, especially on a local level with your high schools, call on Shoreliners. They will get that job done right. Shorelinerstriping.com. All right, one more. We have another gun school coming up. For CPL training. That would be Saturday, August 8th. That is the next class that Prince Arming is going to host. When you start the class, you don't have any knowledge about carrying a handgun concealed. When you're done with the class, you have all of the knowledge. You take the proof of completion of the class, and you go to your county building. Say, yep, I met with Prince for a day. Here's my certification. You're going to fill out an application. You're going to give them some money. Before you know it, you've got your concealed pistol license sent to you in the mail after they do a thorough background check. That's how they do it. That's how I did it. That's how Diana did it. You take the class. You give Prince $125 for the class. You got classwork. You got a video you're going to watch. You're going to get some range time. You don't even have to own a gun for it, okay? And then you take a test at the end. You will pass. And then you're done. That's all you need in the great state of Michigan. Learn from retired Army Major Steve Prince. The next class is coming up Saturday, August 8th. Click on the Prince Army logo at ericzaneshow.com. Then click on events and sign up. Please mention that you came from my show. He'll look at you with a raised eyebrow. You came from Zane's show, huh? He swears too much. Steve is like the kindest, most gentlest soul in the world. Don't let his 6'11", 260 pounds of ripped old muscle fool you. He is the sweetest, most God-fearing man. He doesn't even swear. He gets so mad at me when I say shit. Hey, Zane. He's a big, giant guy, deep voice. Zane. Yeah, Steve, what's up? I've been praying for you. What are you talking about? I'm fine. I pray for a sick kid. I'm praying for you. Why? No, it's like this. Hey, Zane. Yeah, Steve, what's up? I've been praying for you. What? Why? Well, I've been praying for you because you say shit. Wait a minute. You just said shit.
Yeah, but I was just saying what you say.
Well, I know. Why do you pray for a sick kid?
I pray for them too. I pray for all the sick kids and you and your potty mouth.
Oh, come on, man. What's a big deal? Say shit. No big deal.
It is a big deal. You gotta stop swearing.
No, fuck you.
Ah.
Before I get to this thing about baseball and the country of Egypt being the worst in the world, I finished watching the show Chernobyl. I said to you yesterday, it premiered in May of 2019. I'm such an idiot. I had no idea that it was that old. Damn it. I really got to catch up on some TV. I'm like so behind on so many of my favorite shows. Ozark. I'm not even on the latest season. I'm still on season 2. But this 5-episode miniseries on HBO was just incredible. At the end, they do a synopsis with real pictures of where it all went down. And the idea that this town that is right next to where the nuclear power plant is, I think it's called Pripyat, was just evacuated and no one's gone back there. The fact that they're, at a breakfast table, there's a plate, a guy's glasses, a glass of orange juice. There's no orange juice in it anymore. They had to just erase everything. But the radiation level is so high, you definitely don't want to be there. There's a hospital where all the firefighters went. Okay, this is one thing I'll spoil for you. The hospital where the firefighters went, the firefighters were all what do you call it? They had radiation all on their clothing and on their bodies because they were so close to the explosion when they're trying to put out the fire. They all died. The firefighters' clothing was really contaminated, and the nurses stripped their gear off. And if you touched all the nurses who touched the contaminated firefighters' gear, they're all dead. They took all the clothes and threw them in the basement in a room and closed the door. Okay, all the firefighters' clothing. It's 32 years ago. They went back there. Actually, it's 34 years ago. They went back there with protective gear and a Geiger counter to determine the radioactivity. They put the Geiger counter up to the pile of clothes that are still there, and the needle goes way off to the right. It's like off the charts. It's like the most radioactive thing in the whole. It's unbelievable. Oh, we were so close to the planet being destroyed. They'll detail that in the show. You must get this it's on HBO, so not everybody can see it, but oh my God, is this dark, scary. Again, I had to fast forward the scenes where they were shooting the animals. I couldn't take it. I just could not take it. They did an amazing job. Okay. You know what? I think I just want to take a look. I have the option to look at Facebook comments and YouTube comments. I normally don't do this on the freebie. It's just interesting to see some of the discussions of people as they look at the podcast. Let's see. Are you crying about baseball because of Corona libtard? I don't know what that means. All joking aside, FBHW. Oh, this guy says something bad about my old show. I don't want to talk about that. Yeah. Patriot Nick says, check your email, dick. Now that's what we're talking about. Nick says Nick has a charity that he's working on for his I believe he's doing something for kids. He says, I'm still waiting on my paperwork from the state for my 501c3. How much to sponsor your kidney surgery? I don't know. If it's a charity, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if if you have a charity, there's no charge. I don't charge anybody for charity. That's why I have the Harbor Humane thing. That is gratis. Let's get I see that Laura from Stella Fly right here sent me an email. I'm glad I saw that, Nick. You reminded me to check the email. I always say that I want to do that, but now I am. Laura says, I've got an update on Stu McAllister in real time. He just posted this. As you know, Stu was like, I got COVID. And then he took the test, and then he revealed, they said I don't have it, but it could be a false positive. I'm like, Stu, I don't know, man. I think you're fucked up here. I think you got anything but COVID. Are you one of these people that secretly wishes they had COVID? Are you like a drama queen or something? Stu wrote this. Today was the first day where I woke up and felt relatively okay. Very little pain in my shoulder and ribs. He had been complaining about it. It hurts to breathe. I've been able to breathe a little easier as well. No temperature. I still plan on going to my COVID swab appointment today. As I got into my car, I realized it had been broken into. Oh, no. Change was missing and a Bluetooth speaker was gone. I haven't used the car since Thursday night, parked right in my driveway. I must have left it unlocked. Clearly it was kids, as they didn't take any of my tragically hip CDs. Morons. No, dude. I'm glad that they read them. They're probably like CDs. What are these things? We don't even know what they are. Stu, I'm sorry that happened to you, buddy. Hopefully you actually don't have it. All right. A couple things. Nick sends a couple things, couple emails, a couple more links about the whole church is sick with COVID. I see Black Lives Matter mural defaced. I can't get into that one right now. Trivia gonna continue on Fridays. That's not a bad idea, but we've gotten to a point where we don't have any funding for it right now. The sponsorship ended on trivia, so we're gonna put that on the back burner till further notice. It will come back one day. You can count on that. So thank you, Kenny. Nick says, not to pry, but how'd the Queen of the Forest MRI go? Hope all is well. He sent that right at the start of the show. Thank you, Nick, on the Green Clean Technologies inbox, and we covered that earlier. All is well. We're doing pretty great. It wasn't analyzed. It was just recorded. So the docs will take a look at it. If there's anything more that we need to know, they'll definitely let us know. All right, baseball. Now, I actually did watch a baseball game yesterday. I watched the Tigers. They got murdered by Kansas City. It was a Tigers home opener. And first of all, I think it's a horrible thing that they're doing with the fake crowd noise. It's so stupid. Kevin in Muskegon said, yeah, they're doing it because it pumps up the players. It's like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Like, yeah, well, he also said they got to do that so that they don't hear swearing. No, because they're only doing that when, like, they announce, and now batting the first baseman Miguel Cabrera, and then you hear, and then it like stops, and there's no swearing. Then you can't really stop the swearing. Like when Scherzer was heard saying, "Oh fuck" or "shit" or "son of a bitch," I think he said GD when he threw a pitch and he knew it was bad and it was going to get hammered for a home run, and it was. You can't predict when that's going to happen. So, don't even worry about it. Don't give me fake crowd noise. It's so lame. My God. It is what it is. It's a baseball game with no fans. We don't care about that. I just want to see the guys play. I know I make fun of baseball all the time, but in some respects, I am interested in the game to some degree. Not so much these days as I used to be, but I watched yesterday, and the fake crowd noise is just awful. They need to completely abandon it for it never to return. Okay, but now there's the story about the Miami Marlins. Have you seen this? If you don't know yet, they took to the field, and at the end of the game by Sunday, there was a story about first they had like one guy had COVID, and then all of a sudden there's a lot more people have COVID. It turns out 14 members, 12 players, 2 coaches have been diagnosed with COVID. Their game against Baltimore yesterday was canceled. This happened when they were in Philly. All the diagnosis came. There wasn't even word about how they're getting back because, you can't really throw a bunch of guys onto an airplane who with this disease that catches like wildfire or spreads like wildfire. Now, what are you going to do? And then there's the prospect of, if it happened in Philly, what's going to happen with, maybe somebody that they played and how this could spread throughout the league. This isn't like the NBA where the players are in a bubble, okay? These guys are traveling around. They're with their families. And this is exactly, after just a handful of games, what baseball was afraid of. This is a nightmare scenario. And now baseball, Rob Manfred, the guy who runs the show, is like, oh, yeah, there's no reason why they can't play Wednesday. And my question is, what are you, fucking nuts? That's not a question. Yeah, it is. What are you, fucking nuts? It's definitely a question. How the hell would you expect? Oh, well, yeah, you just got to get replacement players. Is that what he's thinking? Who knows? Well, that doesn't make any sense either because the whole team has been exposed. And if you've been exposed, you can't be around anyone. If Joe Schmo shows up to the workplace and he's got COVID, the whole workplace shuts down. This is ridiculous. There's no way that they can continue. And I have no idea what their plan is to possibly do that. Even if you bring in, you would have to wipe out everybody, and they can't play. No coaches, no players. You have to bring in a whole new team in order to play those games. And Miami sucks anyway every year, so I guess it wouldn't matter. But there's more to this. You've heard about people who have known that they're sick. And when they're sick and they still go and they don't quarantine, then they populate with people. That's a big no-no. That's the old Rand Paul trick. Remember that dumbass months ago? He's like, yeah, boy. Oh, boy, yeah, I know. He was waiting on a test to find out if he had COVID. And he went to the gym, okay, and he infected tons of people. Rand Paul actually did this. This is worse because the team knew that someone was infected, and they had a team meeting and said, let's go play anyway. What? This is a big story, and not enough people are talking about it. They knew that Jose Urena, the starting pitcher, had it. He was diagnosed. He flunked the test. They stuck the swab up his nose. He's got it. He's been around the whole team. What do? They had a team meeting, and they said, let's play. Let's win it for Jose. You can't do that with this. This is a huge mistake. This is the same type of shit that we attack young millennials for when they're standing in the water at Torch Lake or they're hanging out in Florida for spring break. Remember that whole thing?
This virus ain't that serious.
Get drunk before everything closes.
This is the same damn thing. And these morons said, yep, we're going to play. So they knew it, and they played. Turn around, now you have 14 sick because of this. He tested for COVID, and then they said, all right, what are we going to do now? The players decided in a group chat to play the game anyway. Shortstop Miguel Rojas said in a video call with reporters, I would have lied about that. You seriously deny till you die. How can you possibly make that mistake? Quote, we made the decision that we're going to continue to do this and we're going to continue to be responsible. Well, no, you're being irresponsible. You're actually saying you're being responsible, but being irresponsible. That's the old do as I say, not as I do, right? We decided to be responsible and just play the game as hard as we can. Oh, my God. Sure, they won the game, but now the whole team is sick. 3 games were postponed as a result of the positive cases. The Marlins home opener against Baltimore and the Yankees game at the Phillies, both scheduled for Monday night, were postponed. They also canceled the Marlins game Tuesday in Miami. I cannot wait to see how they handle this. A reporter followed up with Rojas Sunday asking if in that group chat there was a discussion Sunday morning that maybe they should not play that day. That was never the mentality, Rojas replied. How? It shouldn't be up to him. We knew this could happen at some point. We came to the ballpark and were ready to play. It was never a thought that we weren't going to play. Yeah, he's too stupid to understand what we're dealing with here. After the game, Marlins manager Don Mattingly was asked if the team had considered Sunday morning not playing the game. The reporter asking the question did not reference positive COVID-19 tests. Yeah, how are these reporters not going down that road? Man, you guys got to answer or ask the tough questions. You never really considered not playing from my standpoint, Mattingly said. We're taking risks every day. Every day we're taking risks, so that's what the players all around the league are doing. You know you travel all the time. You're in planes, you're in buses, you're in different hotels. It's a risk that we take. But you knew that a guy had it. And now the whole team's sick. Man, this is a doomsday scenario for baseball. Really bad. Really bad. All right, we'll wait and see. Okay, I want to leave you with this. If there was ever a thought that the United States is a country that doesn't treat its women right, you need to listen to this. And that may be the case for some of you. I'm not saying that, hey, we got it good, so shut up. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying listen to the shit show that goes on in the country of Egypt. I'm just going to read it to you, okay? And then we'll all go, what the fuck? What is happening in the world? In fact, this is the type of thing, this is the type of human rights violation that makes me say, why don't we go in and just kick everybody's ass? We absolutely have that ability. But basically, it turns into the U.S. being the police force for the world. And there are times that I'm like, I wish we would. I wish we would do that. Because there are so many backwards shithole countries that do things in such a crazy manner to me that it just sickens me and makes me wonder why shouldn't, well, we absolutely should. An Egyptian court has sentenced several young women, put these ladies in their early 20s behind bars for 2 years and fined them nearly 300,000 Egyptian pounds, which amounts to $19,000 each, for crimes that if you heard them, you'd be like, well, that's not a crime. But the powers that be have said they have violated the values and principles of the Egyptian family. They've been inciting debauchery and promoting human trafficking, according to the statement from the public prosecutor. One young lady, 20-year-old student Haneen Hassam, and 22-year-old Mawada Eldam are in deep, deep caca for wearing makeup and posing in a car for a TikTok video, dancing in their kitchen, and doing silly skits on TikTok. That's it. What the hell is going on here? The authorities sent them to 2 years in prison for posting indecent dance videos on TikTok in a fraught case that critics describe as a further crackdown on self-expression in the conservative society. Holy shit. Dancing around the kitchen, wearing makeup and sitting in a car, and what else? And doing a silly skit. They described it as familiar and seemingly tame content for TikTok. But in Egypt, their social media stardom was their undoing, where citizens can land in prison for vague crimes such as, quote, misusing social media, disseminating fake news, or inciting debauchery and immorality. It says, boy, can you imagine if, here's a callback for you, if West Michigan sweetheart Allie Lyons lived in Egypt, My God, they would have killed her 1 minute after she left the womb. Jesus. Unbelievable. Their lawyers say all they want is some followers. They're not part of a prostitution ring. And they did not know that this is how their message would be perceived by prosecutors, they added, in reference to their posts encouraging young women to share videos and chat with new friends online in exchange for a little bit of money on another social media platform. They're trying to make a name for themselves, you know. My God, what a disaster. That's the type of thing that if I'm the president and I ever deal, let's say you have one of those meetings in the Rose Garden with the Egyptian president, you say, hey, so what the fuck is going on there? What are you guys doing? How can you possibly do something so stupid? And then just actually have that conversation. Say, you know, I want to be an ally to you, but you make it difficult because you're such a bunch of assholes. This is all bullshit. What you do in the name of morality is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You make all the red states here look like blue states with this bullshit. Screw you guys. Get out of the Rose Garden. My God. Folks, this podcast continues on Patreon. If you want more of it, the $5 or $10 a month that you give me for 5 more podcasts every week, not just one a month, 5 more a week, quite literally keeps the lights on, pays for vet bills. Maybe I can get a pair of socks. You are the front line, the first backbone of the Eric Zane Show podcast. So if what I do on this freebie you think is worth it, and you're going to make my day if I can see the message come in. It says, please welcome so-and-so to Patreon. They're sponsoring you and getting your content. If you like the freebie, I won't let you down on the Patreon. Just sign up at patreon.com/Eric Zane, or you can find a link very easily on my website, ericzaneshow.com. Thanks to you for enjoying this one. We'll talk to you down the road. Thank you.